Love me a bucket. Yep, that's seaweed stuck in my teeth. Hadla ho, y'all. Let me just say, just got back from work, sitting on the bus. I'm so anti-sitting. I used to be a firm believer in saying sitting is one of my hobbies, but y'all, like today, I decided to stand on the bus. One, because it was somewhat crowded, but two, I was like, I know if I sit, I'm gonna fall asleep. So glad I stood up because I like crunched through 30 pages on the bus alone. It was like a 30-minute bus ride, so that's like, oh, it's like a page a minute. It's not bad. Not bad, if I do so say myself. We are in the LA section of the book where she just has a bunch of essays about LA and especially talking about the industry. What is it doing? The industry and what that actually means, whether or not it's inclusive of writers. And it's so crazy to me that like writers had an issue back in the 80s and they still have an issue. They were protesting. Writers Guild in the 80s was having issues. They have issues now. It's just any time of the century, it's an awful time to be a writer and no writers ever make any money. It's just so funny to me. Funny. Funny, funny, funny. A little peek at that. And then right now she's talking about California wildfires and the Santa Ana winds and all of that jazz. So it's beautiful. And you know what? I'm gonna say it here, say it now. The only news I'll read is if it's written by Joan Didion. Like, I can't stand news written by anybody else, but if it's written by Joan, I'm just like so invested. She's talking about like currency exchanges, and I'm just like, wow, this is so interesting. Anybody else? Anything from The Economist? I'm just like, boring. Boring. I don't know how Joan does it. She just makes everything interesting, and she makes history interesting. I wish she had like written history textbooks, and I would have learned, I think, a lot more, to be honest. But yes, those are the updates. I don't have many updates for our share of night. I'm about 52%, 53, something like that of the way through. So a little past the halfway mark, which is kind of crazy, which is not though. What have you. But it's getting interesting. It's just like every moment I pass, I'm just like, I need to check the Goodreads reviews and just like, you know, do a self-check, see if I'm actually enjoying it, you know. I need the opinions of other people to propel me. And one person put it perfectly, which I think is that you begin with a very, very, very fogged up mirror, and slowly and slowly do you end up seeing the whole reflection, the whole picture. Halfway through, I don't know why things happen. I don't know why I should care about these people. And we're in a moment where it's supposed to be tense between the father and the son, but there's just not enough in me to care. Sadly, like, there just isn't enough emotional background for the characters to fully invest in them. And that's fine, because I think Mariana is just focused on way too many other things, and it's a big book, so there are sacrifices to be made, and it's so sad that this sacrifice has to be made. Like, the one thing that connects you to a book is the emotional resonance, which she placed her bets situationally for her characters to hopefully evoke that, but I ain't getting anything. There's nothing there to work with, but we will see. We will see. We will continue reading. Quick book unboxing. We got book mail. I don't know what this is. I think it's Blackwell's, because it's from the UK. So let's do a little unboxing. Here we go. I'm sorry, I just find it odd to say unboxing when it's in like a package like this, but let's see here. Oh my God, that came so quick. Oh my gosh. Okay, hi, hello. it's made a return, Elvis and me. I think you probably know that I lost this on the train. Now it has happily returned to me. And okay, time to pick up where I started from. I know Kieran's reading this right now, so I should probably maybe bring this along this weekend. I'm going into the city this weekend, and I was like, okay, let me quickly finish this Didion before the end of the week, and then I'll pick up another Didion, but maybe I'll do this. Maybe. Priscilla ready. I am Priscilla ready. And Sofia Coppola is currently in New York. I've been watching the TikToks. She's signing her new coffee table book, and that has arrived for me, BTW. But to my LA address. So when I get back to LA, I'll do an unboxing for y'all and show you the pretty pictures inside. But for now, this is what we have. This is what we're working with. We're working with the source material of Priscilla by Sofia Coppola. Excited to jump back into this. That's it. That's the update. You know what, guys? Y'all, I really shouldn't go out. I really shouldn't, but it seems like I go out a lot. But like, let me tell you, it's just balance. It's balance. I do go out, but there's also a good portion of my life where I'm really just at home reading. And that's how I crunch through so many books. I'm a really bad texter though. I try to be good, but like for the most part, I leave my phone on silent and I'm either just like reading. Not that books are better than people, just I'm just so caught up in these little worlds. I'm just like, oh shit, like that exists, all of that, the world exists, and I should probably tend to it, even if for a little while. And yeah, anyway, this is the cold brew talking, because I took like a last big, I realized like I was working, that I still had like a good fourth of my coffee left. I just chugged it, and then, you know, when that coffee hits. Anyway, I think goodness for this cold brew has really put me in a mood. Okay.
Nothing matters to me, so get lost inside a buggy tonight.
And cue cocaine.
Don't you have school tomorrow?
Hi, hello. Going into the city today. It's Saturday. Quick fit breakdown. 51% jeans, jorts, basic white tee, and this like oversized daddy button up. Bag of the day is 2 bags. This is my weekender. I have some stuff to drop off, so I'm bringing the bad boy. Look at him, he's stuffed. And day bag will be, of course, Sandy Liang Bagu with a cute little chart. Book of the day is Elvis and Me, and this time I will not lose it on the train. I hope. Fingers crossed. Oh, I wonder if it fits in here. I think it does. Oh my god, that's kind of crazy. Y'all. Love me a bucket. Don't want to stretch out my pockets like that though. Okay, yes. Oh, if anyone doesn't know, this isn't a pimple. It's like a mosquito bite. I'm just like trying to drain out with these pimple patches. This one's from Multi. They just started, but I got this, what do you call it? Like pre-order? No, not pre-order, but like pre-release. And I love them because they're quite large and they're cute. It's this little smiley face. Okay, what am I doing first? I have to put my stuff in the locker and then go out with my day bag and then get 3, meeting a friend at a gallery. And then we're gonna do some window shopping. I'm not gonna buy anything. I just wanna look. There's a new collection at Amomento that I just wanna check out real quick. And then we're gonna bip and bop around a bit to do a little more shopping and like window shopping. Yeah, we'll see where the day goes from there. I wanna go back to the Yoshitomo Nara exhibit just because I got like horizontal shots, but I didn't get vertical shots for like TikTok or Reels. So I want to do that, and also because it's free and I missed the LACMA show, so This is just like a nice makeup exhibit for what I missed in LA. Yes, I'm actually going out tonight. I don't know if I'm going out till 6 a.m. We shall see. Which reminds me, I don't have my ID, so I also lost my Korean ID. So I will need my passport. God, and if I lose that tonight, oof, I'm in a doozy. Okay, no more losing things. God, I am usually very good about not losing things. Okay, anyway, this intro is super long. It's 4 minutes. Okay, Jesus. Let's go! I'm stopping by this archive sale as if I can buy anything. just to check out how much I'm missing out on, because I'm masochistic. But it's at 1 and it's 11 right now, so I have some time to kill. And I think I'll head over to the Yoshitomo Nara exhibit and yeah, chill out there for a while until there we go. Until I get my call time. Call time's at 1 to 1:20. Quick updates on Elvis and me. Did anyone know she was 14 when they were kind of seeing each other? Kind of crazy. Also other bits and bobs I'll talk about later, but yeah, she was 14 when she first met Elvis. Kinda crazy. Okay. I'll check on you. We'll check in later. Okay, bye. so pretty. That was sexy. That was sexy. God, I love this bed. Oh, hi vlog. What did we do today? Oh, we went to one amomento store. We're going to the other because they had so little stuff. I feel like I need to mix things up. Good coffee. We had like a lemon pound cake with olive oil. It's really nice. Moist. Moist. And yeah, now I'm gonna do more window shopping. Took this detour through the palace. And it was fair. It is fair. So nice. So cool. Feels like fall.
What's in the pocket?
Of course, always a book. Okay, we're done. Yikes. Oh my god, hi. Time for an update. I hope you can hear me. Heading to my friend's place now to sort of drop my stuff off and get crunk. I am going out tonight. I really shouldn't know. What am I doing? You know what? Look down on me, learn from me. That's what's going on. Okay. I'll check in with y'all later. There's a mouthwash machine in the bathroom. Crazy. Finished the Joan show. It was great. So much fun. Last night was good. Ended up meeting a bunch of people that, no, that's it. Ended up meeting a bunch of people. New friends, old friends. It was a good night. And yeah, was more out for the people and the music this time around. And it was really nice. I'm outside of the gallery right now. Don't know what to do with myself. I have dinner plans at like around 7-ish, so I've got some time to kill. I wanted to check out this bookstore because I haven't been in a while, but it's an hour away, which I might end up doing just to eat up time the Sunday after going out all night. Don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything, but today's like a really gorgeous day. It's still warm a bit, but like really nice breeze. I think I'm gonna go to the bookstore and just sit and think for a bit and decide. Let's go. Hi, hello. Do I got some content for y'all today? We got a good sit-down chat. I also got this onigiri. Oh, sorry. I'm in Korea. It's called a kimbap. Japanese call it onigiri. Here they call it kimbap. So sorry. Oh yes, we got some good book updates today. So let me tell y'all about some books. Y'all ready for this? Okay. So before I left for the weekend, I finished After Henry by Joan Didion. Did I already talk about this? Okay, whatever. If I didn't, I'm gonna have a fun day editing, aren't I? A collection of essays that are looking at after Joan Didion has lost her husband. Doing all of this reportage, and it tracks all of life in LA and New York and sort of the contrasts in them and different belief systems, but very much so on LA. And you know what? I just want Didion to write my history books because, like, I can just eat up anything she writes. And it's crazy. Like, she was talking about, like, real estate in LA, and I was just like, why is this so interesting? I, like, had no interest in real estate. And then yet here we are. For people in the industry and real estate, and what does it mean to sell or own a house, and what is the industry, and also the livelihood of writers, how much money a writer makes, how dispensable they are. After that, we get into the New York bit, and she talks about sort of the rape and murder of, oh, it's the last essay. It's one of, I think, her most important essays, but explores a lot about like race, class, crime in New York, and what the death of a woman means in modern day media. And I think with this, it also just lends into sort of the whole idea of like the missing white girl, you know, the milk carton missing person thing, and the way media and people respond to news like that for the general public versus, like, say, if a black female, if it had been the same for a black female, would be a totally different story. And yeah, fine collection. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Just being back in like Didion's collection of essays just feels good. After having read like fiction and singular accounts on a singular place, Salvador. So this was fun. This was good. This is more history based, I want to say, compared to like Slouching Towards Bethlehem or The White Album, which I feel like focus a lot more on culture, and you get a sense of who she is more so. Here it feels more investigative, and definite feels like she's distracting herself with all of this reportage after having suffered such grief, but also shows like her resilience and her major purpose in what it means to be a writer and to be writing about so many different topics that cover culture, essentially. And, you know, the sweeping motion of the 80s, which I didn't realize, like, how so much happened within that decade and so much has changed. And to see it through her eyes. But yeah, a fine collection. If you're a Didion stan, definitely not one to be missed. There's a couple of fun ones. If you're from LA and you have a strong love-hate relationship with it and are just like very interested in the landscape of LA, this is good. There's a portion where she also talks about the LA Times and sort of its growth and how the LA Times sort of essentially shaped LA because of its founder. And it just, I just find that stuff personally very interesting, but I think it's a bore fest for everyone else. But yes, it's a delicious, delicious collection for Didion stans. Don't miss out. Okay, after that, I think you saw in B-roll footage, but I finished 2 books at a bookstore, at one of my favorite bookstores called The Book Society. They just do a really nice curation of art critique, art books, monographs, basically like exhibition books that are in current demand and circulation in terms of like gallery season for Korea. But I finished this tiny little book of essays by Douglas Coupland, Machines Will Make Better Choices Than Humans, and it sort of investigates becomings of the metaverse. This was written in 2016, but it definitely bridges into, he begins with like the idea of the app and what if an app was named Todd, and Todd was essentially your friend, and learning about all of this stuff and data collecting and essentially data harvesting and what all this collection of data means and the importance of where does the alloy of the human soul go towards, what is the future essentially for humans. And yeah, I mean, it brinks on talking about jumping to the metaverse, and I don't think that word was quite created yet in 2016, but he talks about it. And then sort of in the last two essays, he talks about where apps come from and how they're tied to like companies, and it's all about money, and we end up living in this, you know, capitalistic patriarchal society, and we're all fucked. Machines will make better choices than humans. Perhaps they will, because they come from a patriarchal, consumerist place. Everything's about money. Money rules the world. It's like 30 pages. It's like super easy. You can finish it in one sitting like I did. But yeah, I think it's such an interesting look at what Coupland was thinking about before the metaverse was invented. And yeah, he's not far from speaking the truth. So yeah, love Coupland. He always does such fun cultural critiques and investigations and the human psyche and the world at large. So good stuff. After that, I read also in one sitting Baroness Elsa's M Dashes by Astrid Seme. It's an anthology. It's an anthology of dashing in print, poetry, and performance, but it is sort of an obsessive look on the M dash. Emily Dickinson loved the M dash. She got a whole bunch of crap for it, but it's beautiful. I feel like it's the best punctuation. It does so much. Let me read this quote for you because I think it's fantastic. The M dash between your birth and death dates on your headstone will be representing your whole life, all your joys and sorrows, adventures and disappointments, tucked in something slightly longer than a hyphen and shorter than an M dash. So go on ignoring them. The dashes will have the last word. Oof. And I love when some of, I believe, Dickinson's poems end with a dash. There's this sort of continuity to it, this infinity, this everlasting feel to it that is so beautiful, given that her poetry is like so short and small and what feels minuscule, but there's like whole universes within them. It paired with pictures of dashes with the text, it looks at the dash as performance art in its shape and size, its history as well, and what it means in poetry. And it's just such a beautiful little thing that has a sense of readability to it. You can probably find something new in it with every reading of it, but yeah, it's just delightful. I just love tiny books like that. Like, you can bring it along for like your commutes or like a sit-in at the park. It just like, it doesn't take too much commitment, yet it packs a punch, and you can always return to it. That's what makes it such a brilliant book. And it's from Black Forest Library, and they have this sort of collection of books. I wanted to get the pee one. There was something about like peeing in different places or something, and I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I didn't have any money, so I couldn't buy it, the book. Yeah, no wallet, if anyone's forgotten. But yeah, it was a delight. I thought it was strong. For those who love the M dash, for y'all nerds out there, dash nerds, it was a good one. Praise the M dash. Okay, and then throughout that weekend of the B-roll footage you just saw, I finished Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. Oh boy, am I ready for the movie. It is gonna be so good. I can already see it. There are just moments in here where you can totally see Sofia Coppola is like gonna create a scene out of it, and I'm just so excited. There's so many petty fights between her and Presley, and their portions set in Vegas, and oh, I don't think Sofia Coppola ever did a moment in Vegas, but it's so her, and I can't wait. Like the costumes, the hair, oh, the heavy makeup. It's gonna be a good ride, the movie, and I'm so excited. For the book itself, I was actually quite surprised. I thought the first chapter was very strong. It opens with Presley's death. I've talked about it briefly, but then as soon as you jump into chapter 2 and the rest of the book, you realize that the book is actually less about, it says Elvis and me, but there is no me. If anything, it should be Elvis, comma, and me. Because Priscilla, though she writes in a way where it's so readable and so easy to read, that's how I finished it so quickly. I was surprised myself. But it just reads very easily. She talks about sex, frankly. She takes LSD with Elvis, which is great. That was a great moment, and I hope to see that in the film. And she talks about all of Elvis's like weird quirks, how he's sort of a child about things and he throws tantrums a lot. And that may be due to perhaps stress or sort of the drugs that he was taking or fame itself, juggling so many women at once as well. Presley, I think the only time that she opens up... Okay, sorry. My issue with the book is that she doesn't say much about herself, which is so crazy to me. Because you have like, what is this, 320 pages? Mostly just about Elvis himself. And there aren't moments in here where Priscilla like talks about herself. There isn't anything about her. The only time where we really get a sense of who she is and how she opens up is through all of Elvis's tantrums. Priscilla enjoy mothering him, and it's this idea of mothering and like taking care of the other that I thought was like really interesting, given that I just finished reading Motherhood by Sheila Heti, and just this idea of mothering and how inherent it is in the universe. But here Priscilla is, I think there's a moment in the book, and I think I wrote the quote down. She had told Elvis, like, I'm the best damn thing there is because I can do everything for you and I am like the best woman. Something of that iteration. I'm butchering it. But yeah, she enjoys mothering. She enjoys taking care of Elvis. And perhaps that's why the relationship worked so well. But at the same time, there were so many fights. Priscilla doesn't open up about her feelings about it at all. She just sort of tallies up and tells us like every single like little petty fight. But then that's it. She doesn't like tell us much about her. So I really hope with the film that Sofia Coppola is able to show a truer sense of Priscilla, more of her interiority. But my issue with Sofia Coppola's films sometimes is that they're way too wishy-washy. It's very much like spectator view outside of the body, and she gives her characters so much space and setting to roam around and sort of figure themselves out, but it's all still quite vague. She doesn't give us enough pieces in order to allow us to understand who her characters are, while also the issue being that I don't think the characters know who they are as well. And we do get a bit of that, and perhaps that's why Sofia was perhaps drawn to the story, because Priscilla does admit that when she is with Elvis, and there are moments where like he's on a film or like phone calls, that she just feels that she is, what do you call it? Like not a priority, like second on the list. And she struggled with that, but she also continued to play the lady in waiting for him. She always expresses this love for him so much. And I don't know if that comes from the mothering or like genuine love, because as much as she talks about his flaws and like loving his flaws, there aren't like moments where like the love is like fully expressed. Like I don't know how else she loves him, but it's also through the intimate details in the book that I think you get this like very interesting portrait of Presley from Priscilla's eyes, which in effect I think is still quite good. So yeah. Oh, one of their kinks was role-playing. They loved role-playing. I think there was a part where she mentions being like in a schoolgirl uniform. Nonetheless, very interesting. I think this is really fun to read before you watch the film. You can definitely see where Sofia Coppola might like extract some scenes and like incorporate it into her film. But damn, Priscilla Presley has lived also. Like she's a military brat, like lower middle class, made do with what she had as always. Very humble beginnings, but also quite tragic. She also endured some pretty critical and difficult subject matter that I'll leave for the interested, as you should pick this up, because it's gonna be a good movie. I feel it, I sense it, and so excited. Just any movie that Sofia Coppola does, it's just fantastic. I just love the way she sets scenes up. Okay, I haven't even like, I was supposed to do a mukbang and talk about books. So I'm gonna start now. This is how I appreciate you, Priscilla. I was actually quite tired today, but I feel okay now. I think it's just like when I'm at work, I'm dreading being there. And then when I'm gone, I'm just like, oh, okay, today wasn't actually that bad. Oh, also, how I paid for like convenience store stuff and Starbucks. Thank goodness Bank of America has this thing where you can like get a virtual card and you can like use Apple Pay to pay for things with this virtual card. So that's what I did because I don't have my cards yet, my American cards. And while I was paying for something, it was like a big kimbap with like 2 peach water bottles. It ended up being like $1.60, which is crazy to me because the kimbap was like pretty fulfilling. I was amazed. It's just like, yeah, I could get by dinner with like $1.60 dinner. Sign me up. This hits the spot though. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what this is. It was like spicy beef inside with like a kimchi fried rice. That's why the rice is red. Pretty good. I'd say a 7 out of 10. If I was hungrier, 8 out of 10. Not bad, not bad. I should do more convenience store meals. It's just that the ones around my house aren't that great. There's like 2 that are like fairly close. 3, sorry. But the selections aren't that great. Like I wish I lived at like a better convenience store. Oh, okay. Well, mukbang is done. I didn't even talk about books. Anyway, up next I have Roland Barthes' Mythologies, which I'm doing a buddy read with Alex from I'm Alex. I'll leave his handle down below. Yep, that's seaweed stuck in my teeth. Sorry you had to see that, y'all. You know what? You have me at like, you know me. You know me. You know who I am. Collection of essays looking at what mythology is, what is truth, extracting parts of daily culture, life, and art for Barthes. What is this set? 50s. Late 50s. But the first essay opens up about wrestling. I was just like, really? Really? I mean, it's not even like super gay. It's just like him talking about basically, oh, well, I guess it was kind of interesting. But now that I think about it. But sort of how wrestling isn't like real fighting and it's just sort of the imitation of play while also having a spectacle. It's being made into a spectacle and you see it. I'm gonna read this quote for you. He says, what the public wants is the image of passion, not passion itself. So when you have the image of passion already, you don't actually need the very thing of it, which is kind of like crazy to think about. Like, I sound insane, but like Barthes wouldn't know, but like reality television. When you have reality television, you have the images itself and you actually don't need sort of the reality, if that makes any sense. Because like, quote unquote, what is reality television? But like when you watch reality television and you're in it, you don't need the reality. And that can go on for so many different things, sort of like TikTok, YouTube content and stuff like that. It's like, you sort of forget like what real life is. And I guess like related, unrelated, but going back to the whole Douglas Coupland book, it's about like when we have these things, when we have these friends, these apps, or these things that take up our lives and are collecting data, at what point do we no longer need reality and then invest in sort of the metaverse, as Coupland sort of predicts without knowing that it exists yet. It's very interesting that Barthes was already looking at that idea that like what the public wants, what the audience wants, is the idea of something, but not the thing itself, which I think ties into something about escapism, but he didn't really go there. He said, what is expected is the intelligible representation of moral situations, which are usually private. This emptying out of interiority to benefit of its exterior signs, this exhaustion of the content by the form, is the very principle of triumphant classic art. I just thought that was really compelling, given that this guy wrote this in the 60s, and yet here we are, sort of dissatisfied with our lives as we continue to go into online, forget about reality. Second essay was on Julius Caesar and this idea of sweating in the film. Everyone is sweating because everyone is debating something within himself. We are here supposed to be in the locus of a horribly tormented virtue that is in the very locus of tragedy, and it is sweat, which has the function of conveying this. I guess a lot of sweat appears in the film. I don't know. Should I watch the film? Maybe, one day. It's sort of the performance, the act, the showing of the act and not the act itself. And being a movie itself is ties in nicely. Third essay is on being a writer on holiday. I haven't finished it yet, but it's exactly that. And sort of the media's view of what it means to be a writer, that it like is this like glorious thing and it's so lavish and nice, and you're on this island or hotel and you're just, you know, laying around and writing. But, you know, as you go back to Didion and After Henry, they make shit. They make pennies, pure pennies. They aren't the ones in the industry. Writers are not part of the industry. They're actually quite disposable. As she was talking to this director, and the director's like, I could get a fresh writer. Fresh writer meaning someone who just came out of a project, and they like that because they don't want anyone sort of dumbed down and dawdled with past projects, within projects, and yeah, just writers are indispensable, and it's really sad. Would Barthes had known that? 50s and 60s. I feel like writers thrived in the 50s and 60s. Then again, like Hemingway, when was A Movable Feast done? Because he was actually on scraps for that one. He was not having a good time. 1960s. Okay. Okay, well, this just reiterates what I said before, that writers are always having a hard time. They make pennies. Can't wait to hear Alex's thoughts. He's a good buddy read. I love the way that he orients questions and how we discuss things. So good buddy read, I think. Lots to talk about here with art and performance. Well, that's all, folks. Be well, do good work, keep in touch.